Hey guys, I'm Brianna, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing my mid-year book freakout tag, which has been going around BookTube for a while. This is my first time I've ever filmed it, so I decided to do it. And I have completed my GoodReads goal this year. I had 130 books set for 2018. I've read, I think, close to 150 now, which is super good. If you guys are wondering what books I have read, I have a GoodReads. It's linked down below. So anytime you guys want to check my reviews, like my longer in-depth reviews or what I'm reading, check down there because I have that all set up. So number one is best book you've read so far in 2018. And that's Souls Unfractured by Tilly Cole. I absolutely adore this book, and I think I'm going to do a review on it, which is weird because this is number 3 in the series, but it's okay because this is my favorite book. It's probably going to be my favorite book of all time. I just love it that much. It's so good. This follows a motorcycle gang and a cult, and this is Flame and Maddie's story. Best sequel you've read so far in 2018. I haven't really read a lot of sequels in general, but I did do my reread of the Aquatar series, so this is probably such a cheat answer, but I'm saying A Court in Mist and Fury. I love this book. Again, this is one of my favorite books of all time. Yeah, so I wish I've been reading more series, but I haven't gotten to it. Like, I still have Fireblood, A Poison Dark and Drowning, like I still have a whole bunch. Legendary, like I haven't read any of them yet, so that I think is going to take the best sequel that I've read so far. New release you haven't read but you want to, definitely Crux Untamed by Tilly Cole. This is book 6 in the Hades Hangman series. I've yet to read it yet. I have not read a lot of new releases, and that's because I kind of put myself on a book buying ban, so I was only buying like used books, but because it's coming up the summer, I'm definitely going to be hitting up Amazon, get my Amazon Prime. But yeah, I definitely need to read this. That's why, as you can tell, I'm kind of doing a reread of the Hades Hangman series, so hopefully I'll get to this book this month or July. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year, so from June on. Mine, I have a lot of anticipated releases, but the one I really want to read is Dr. Strangebeard by Penny Reed. That's book 5 of the Winston Brothers series, and I think that follows, does that follow Billy? I don't know if it follows Billy. I think it follows Billy, but I really want to read that book. It comes out late July, I think, like the last week of July. She pushed the the release date back, so I definitely want to pick that one up. Number 5 is the biggest disappointment of the year. I do have a couple. I was I anticipated a lot of books this year, and there were 3 of them that came to mind that I was very upset that I didn't like. The first one is I Dare You by Ilsa Madden Mills, I don't know how to pronounce her first name. That was a football book. I read that, I think in May or April. I wasn't a fan of it. Very disappointing. Then I have Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. I just read this month, and I was very disappointed with this as well. You'll probably see my review in my wrap-up that will go out at the end of the month. I was just very upset. Like, I wanted so much more from this book, and it was like, it's Vikings, it's tough, it's this and this, and it just wasn't there for me, so that's why it was disappointment. And then my last disappointment was As She Fades by Abby Glines. I just hated the second half of that book. It was so bad. And with Abby Glines, her books are kind of like, it depends. The Until Friday Night series, I love that. The Field Party series, I'm obsessed with that, so like that will never do no wrong. But I feel like her other series are kind of like more for a quick contemporary read. They're not really for plot. Like, they're not, I guess, elevated enough in the plot. It just really upset me because I was expecting so much more, but I didn't get that. Then I have number 6, the biggest surprise of the year. Definitely Cole by Tijan. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. I believe I gave it a 5 out of 5. I just loved it that much. And this was my first mafia romance, so this was just great to start off my reading month with. Favorite new author, I do have a couple. So it's either debut or new to you. I think mine are more new to me because I've been branching out a lot in the booktube world and in the community, and a lot of my booktubers that I've been watching have recommended so many books. So one is Max Monroe, which I found on my own. They're a duo author, and I forgot what else they wrote, but their new series right now is a football romance, and I absolutely love it. It's so good. I have them on Kindle, but I may want to get them on paperback soon because I really like them. But books 1 and 2 just came out. Absolutely loved it. Definitely recommend it. Then I have Team Frasier, which I have read off my Kindle. She wrote the motorcycle, like the King series, which is like a motorcycle romance. And I really liked it. It was super dark. I've only read King, Tyrant, and Bear. I've only read those 3. There's like 5 million in that series. So when I get to it, I'll get to it. But I really love those. And my last one is Penny Reed, which, believe it or not, I just found her this year. And it's her Winston Brothers series. I'm obsessed with this series. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite contemporaries of all time. So yeah, this goes to Penny Reed. Newest fictional crush, I would have to say, is Cole from Tejan. I really loved Cole in this book. He was just so mysterious, but then when you got to really know him, you understood where he was coming from, and I just really loved him. So I think out of all my books this year, it's going to be Cole, just because a lot of mine are rereads, or I don't want to say the same author, but I loved Cole. He was great. Yeah, that's it. Then I have newest favorite character. So I picked Peyton from Broken Beautiful Hearts, and the reason why I picked her, I just really connected with her a lot. We had a lot of the same issues in high school going on. Well, mine started in middle school, but it continued into high school. We both had knee surgery. We both were just dealing with crappy situations with school and everything, and not fitting in, and then having, well, I didn't move, but she had to move, and I just really loved her character. And I don't say that a lot about female characters that are new, but I just really loved her character. I also really liked Owen Law. He was the guy character in this book, but this book was phenomenal. I really would like a second book, but it kind of seems like it's a standalone, but I love it. Then I have Book That Made You Cry. This is so bad. Okay, so for me, I sometimes get emotional during books, and either that's because, 1, it's sad, like it's really sad, or 2, like I can relate to it and that's why it's sad. But the first one I just read, and I cried about like 5 times throughout this book, and it was good, but it was just so sad, some of these scenes, that I was like bawling on my couch. It was really bad. So the first one is Infraction by Rachel Van Dyken. I wanted to pick this up because, as you can see, it's a football romance, and it came out in January, so it is relatively new. And I was just bawling throughout this whole book. There was a lot of talk about like cancer and stuff like that, and little kids, and I was a mess. But it was a great book, don't get me wrong. I think I did give it a 5 out of 5, but I was just cried throughout this whole book. And then, of course, Souls in Fracture by Tilly Cole. I was a mess. I think the first time I read it, I think I cried about like 5 or 6 times, but I literally finished my reread of this yesterday, and I bawled my eyes out the whole day on the couch. And my dad was sitting next to me, and he was like, "You good?" And I'm like, "No, this is so sad." Flame just breaks my heart so much. Like, I love him dearly, but this book is just so emotional. So be prepared when you get into it. It's really emotional. And hopefully I'll have my review up with this soon. Next I have Books That Made You Happy. I do have a lot. I said The Game, Can't Love You Back by Carol Kozo. I picked 3. I love this book. It's a cute contemporary. It's about a girl who ends up joining the baseball team when the schools like combine, like her school closes and shuts down because of something that happened, and they kind of combine, and she ends up falling in love with another guy on the team. It's all that. I loved it. It was a great read. I forgot what rating I gave this, but I loved it, and it made me happy reading it. Then I have Obsidian by Jennifer Armentrout. I did my reread of this. The first time I read this was like 2012, so it was time for a reread. But I don't have the new cover, or like the older covers. These are like the collector's edition. But I loved it. It made me happy. Loved Damon and Katie's relationship. Loved that Katie reads. Just this whole book made me smile. And then the last one I have is White Hot Kiss by Jennifer Armentrout. I feel like her books always make me happy unless they're like murder books. But I love this book. It was so good. It was just a refreshing taste. And again, this was a reread for me this year. I did a lot of rereading. I was not expecting it, but I did. And I love Roth. Roth is like my favorite guy character ever. He's just love him. And then favorite book to movie adaptation you saw this year. I don't remember seeing like a lot of movies coming out this year, like book to movie adaptations. There were a lot of good movies in general that came out, but the one that comes off the top of my mind was Love, Simon, which is based off of Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. I really, really enjoyed the movie. It did make me cry like twice. I was bawling my eyes out again. As you can see, that's a common occurrence when I read contemporary. I cry. But I loved this book. It was so good, and the movie was just as good. I loved the guy who played Simon. He was in Jurassic World, I think. I think so. But I loved him. The movie was good, and it just was nice to see that. I am very excited for the Darkest Minds movie, even though I have not yet read The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. So I need to read that, which I have to because I think it comes out in August. And there's a couple other movies I'm excited for, so yeah. Favorite video you filmed this year? I would say the videos I really like to film are my book hauls because it's me getting books, and you guys seem to like that a lot. I do also, like, I really enjoyed filming with my sister. That was really fun. A pain in the butt because I have, like, my shelf is so small, but it's okay. I love doing it anyway. The most beautiful book you bought or received. I think this is no surprise. This was in my most beautiful covers. The Ones Who Got Away by Ronnie Lauren. Just take a second. Just look at this cover. Like, oh, so good. So good. I love this cover so much, and it's so beautiful, and just everything about it, and it really plays well to the theme of the book as well. And I really need to do my reread of this, even though I read it like a couple months ago, because book 2 is coming out this month, I think late June. But I'm so excited. I love this book so much. And then last question, number 15. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? So I have 2 physical copies right here, and then I have a couple listed. So I'll do the ones I listed first. So I want to read the Cocktails Anthology. It's by a whole bunch of authors. I don't know if you've heard of the whole trademarking and the romance world and how that happens. But if you buy the book on Amazon, all the proceeds go to the romance authors and like the petition to get everything removed. It's like a whole big deal, but I really, really want to read it, and it's only available in paperback till August 26th, and I was so upset because Amazon took it down for like 3 weeks, and I was like cringing because I was like, no, I didn't buy it yet. I'm trying to wait for it to go on sale. It's like so expensive, guys. So hopefully I'll get it soon by the end of August. I'll probably order everything in July. Then I want to read The Chase by Elle Kennedy. She just announced that it's coming out August 6th, and I like freaked out. It's one of my most anticipated books this year. That one is about, it's like a spin-off to like the Off-Campus series. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. It's a hockey romance. It's new adult, takes place in college. So good, like so freaking good. There's 4 books. I just love all of them. I have them on my Kindle, and I really need to get them in paperback because I love them so much. 100% recommend it. But The Chase is now called it's the Briar Hockey series, and it's the younger players that you saw in the novel that were coming up into college. So it's like their own novels now, and I'm so freaking excited for it. Like, I have no clue what to expect, but I loved the Off-Campus series, so I definitely am gonna love this one. Then I have A Wish for Us by Tilly Cole. Have not yet bought it. It's been out since June 11th, and I need to buy it off of Amazon. But that one looks so emotional, and I'm on Tilly Cole's Facebook group. She like renamed it. It used to be the Hades or the Hangman Harem. That's what it used to be, but now she changed it to include everyone. but I love Tilly Cole's books. I'm starting like my collection of her books, and I love them so much. So I know I'm gonna like this one. This one also revolves around music, and it's supposed to be a very like sad contemporary book, but have a lot of weight behind it. So it reminds me of a Thousand Boy Kisses. So I'm definitely gonna cry, but I need to read it by the end of the year. I may bring that one to college with me. And then I want to read The Darkest Star by Jennifer L. Armentrout. That one comes out October 30th, so I have to wait. It's okay. I'll push through. That's her spin-off from the Lux series, which follows a character named Luke, which I'm very excited. And then I have a lot more. I do have like a want to read section on GoodReads, which is like 5,000 books long, but it's okay. And the two physical ones I have here are Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin Segman-Broca. I do know, I think they were married or they're like fiance something, but this is from my library. I've been hearing great things about it. Kaden from 1,000 Books to Read has loved it, so I'm hoping I'll love it as much. And all I know is this is about a girl who finds love, but it's not the right time, and it's all this. It takes place in high school, and I'm just really interested to read it. And then another book, which it's a required reading book, but I want to read it anyway, is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Even though this book is kind of big, I really want to read this because it just seems pertinent to today's society, so I just really want to read this. And I know it's becoming a movie, so I feel like the movie is not going to be as good as the book because, come on guys, books are better. But I just really want to read this. I'm probably going to start reading it soon, maybe in July, but I'm going to tab it and post-it mark it and all that stuff so I remember what I read for class because, guys, I forget books like so quickly if I don't love them. But yeah. So that's it for today's video. I really hope you like my mid-year book freakout tag. I actually really enjoyed doing this video. It kind of sums up my reading year of what I loved, what I didn't love, and all that. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe if you like this video. Bye!